Well, welcome back to the homestead. Today's episode, we want to work on our wood flooring and try and get this area between where we started the floor and the front wall of the house finished. So to do that, I've got to put a wood spar in the groove of that starter row, and then we can flip the boards around 180 degrees and start working that direction. And we'll get as far as we can with the flooring nailer on that, and then we'll switch over to the brad nail gun, and we'll finish the floor install out in these two rooms with that. But before we get started on that, my wife and I found a ceiling fan that we both liked, and we're going to go ahead and install that here in the living room so that we can use it to start stirring some of the air around while we're working in here, because any air movement you can get right now makes the work environment just a little bit more pleasant. It's July, the temperatures are hitting, yesterday was 99, the humidity is extremely high, we're under heat advisories, so anything we can do to make it a little more comfortable in here while we're working helps. So we're going to go ahead and install this ceiling fan, and then once we're done with that, we'll jump on the flooring. So let's get started on the fan. All right, so now that the fan's installed, let's go ahead and get back onto the flooring. All right, so here back on my starting row, you can see I've got a groove, but I need to start working this direction. And on tongue and groove flooring, when you're using a hardwood flooring nailer, it always works from the tongue side of the wood. So you have a tongue side where there's a protrusion, and then you have a groove in the back. So the next tongue will fit into this, and the previous groove will fit over that. So the flooring nailer always nails through this tongue at a 45. So right now there's nothing securing the back side of my boards here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a hardwood spline, and this spline, if it'll focus, okay, this spline is the same thickness as the groove on the flooring, but it's twice as wide. So you can use this to fill two grooves back to back. So the only thing we have to do there is we'll take that and we'll put it into the groove on this row, and I'll use the flooring nailer to go through at a 45 to secure the back side of this board and the spline into the hardwood or the starter row. And then I can take my next row, and because this spline is still sticking out, I can turn this wood the opposite direction where I have a tongue on this side and begin working towards that wall. So let's go ahead and get that started. All right, so I've worked this flooring all the way up to the wall as close as I can get it with the flooring nailer. And now there's not enough room to swing the hammer and hit the striker to fire the gun. So for the rest of the rows, we're going to use a brad gun instead. And we're just going to hold the brad gun at a 45-degree angle to the tongue and shoot it through. So I'll have to make sure that the gap is closed up before I fire the brad into it. The floor gun will actually close the gap as you fire the gun, but the brad gun is not going to do that. So you have to pay extra attention that you get all of your gaps closed tight before you nail it. And then once we do a few rows of this, we'll be too close to actually nail through the tongue anymore, and we'll use the brad gun to go through the top, and then we'll just have to come back and fill that with wood putty and sand it. So let's go ahead and see if we can finish out this one corner. So I've gotten the flooring down now until it's ready to extend through this doorway going into the master bedroom. And I don't want to have a seam here in the doorway where it changes rooms. So I want the flooring to go all the way into the other room without a seam or a threshold here. And the way I'm going to do that is I've attached a string to the far side of the floor right on the edge. And I pull that string to the far wall in the master bedroom. And I've ensured that the string stays on the front edge of the flooring. So I know I've got a nice straight line all the way through the two rooms. The next thing I'll do is I've pre-cut a piece of flooring to go around this threshold. So we'll put this in place, but when I go to nail this in, I can only nail where there's flooring behind it. So once it crosses into the bedroom, I'll have to take those 1x4s and put that on the back side of the board so that I can nail the tongue of the flooring down in. And I'll use this string to adjust the floor forwards or backwards to ensure that this line flows straight all the way through the next room. And once I've got my backer board down to the far wall in there, then we can continue putting flooring in, and we can work all the way from one side of the bedroom to the opposite side in the living room. And we can do that until we get back to the opposite side of the door here. And once we cross through this door, then I can just concentrate on the living room side. So let's go ahead and try and get that done and see if we can get a nice straight starter line. All right, well, I think that's going to do it for this video. So we've gotten all of the kitchen flooring put down. We've got almost all of the living room floor put down. Just this little narrow strip here where you see the tar paper is the only thing we haven't finished in the living room. And we've got our lines flowed through into the master bedroom, so we can start working in there when we're done with the living room. So the next thing we'll do is probably finish out the master bedroom, vanity and closet and bathroom area. So that whole side of the house basically from this transition here into the bedroom from the living room. Then once I finish all of that, then I'll come back and finish up the rear entryway, the washroom, and the dining room area. But we're trying to get as much of this flooring down as we can because we're getting ready to order cabinets here pretty soon. And I wanted all the flooring down where the cabinets are gonna go. So I need to get at least back to the vanity area in the master bedroom. And I need to get the washroom done downstairs. And then we've got an upstairs bathroom that we're gonna need to do, but I'll probably just have them build the cabinet, bring it out, and then I'll set the cabinet myself later. So the downstairs areas that I'm focusing on are gonna be the master bedroom vanity closet area and the rear entry dining room and washroom area, because we're gonna have some cabinets in the washroom. So at any rate, that's going to be several more videos, I'm sure. So for today's video, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here. And till next time, y'all just keep checking back.